Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ba'd. So today we're going to continue with the 99 names of Allah, and the names we're going to be covering today are Al-Latif, Al-Khabeer, Al-Haleem, and Al-Azim. So there's four names. Now, the first name is Al-Latif. So Al-Latif comes from the word lutf, and what it means is it actually has two meanings. So this is kind of seems a little bit strange. Why would there be one name that has two meanings? It's because many words in Arabic, they can have more than one meaning. Just like in English, sometimes one word has more than one meaning, depending on the context in which it's used. So the name Al-Latif can refer to the subtle, right? So that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the subtle one, right? Which means, what does that mean that he's subtle? It means that he is the one who is most knowledgeable of the most subtle details that exist within creation. You know, his actions, the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done, they are so fine. They're so fine and detailed and subtle. They're beyond the comprehension of human beings. So we can understand some aspects of what Allah does, but at the same time, there's a subtlety there that human beings are not really able to grasp. And that's one of the reasons why he's called Al-Latif. So in chapter 6, verse 103, Allah says, "La tudrikuhu al-absar wa huwa yudriku al-absar." Says the sights do not comprehend him, but he comprehends all sights, right? Meaning visions, people's visions, they cannot comprehend Allah, but he comprehends everyone else's vision. وَهُوَ اللَّطِيفُ الْخَبِيرُ. And he is the subtle and the aware. And now these two attributes come together. So the word, his name Al-Khabir, meaning the aware, the all aware. He's aware of everything. This is the next name, by the way. They come together with Al-Latif. So when there's a connection between Al-Latif being aware of everything, it means that there's a subtlety in the awareness as well, meaning Allah is aware of everything, and he's the one who has made certain subtle things that are going to be missing from people's comprehension because they're so finely detailed that you cannot even grasp them, right? Even the visions cannot grasp Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then there's a second meaning. And the second meaning is, which it means the most gentle. So from the word lutf. So latif, sometimes a person can be described as latif, meaning he's gentle, calm, you know, kind of like kind, but there's a gentleness aspect to it. But when we add the al, it means the, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Latif. He is the most gentle of all. Gentleness also kind of means is an aspect of charity when you're gentle with other people. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he bestows gifts, he bestows blessings that are finely suited to the needs of creation. So there's a subtlety as well. And he's very gracious, he's very understanding, and he guides us, he treats us with a certain kindness, a gentleness without us even realizing it. Right? And this is this is explained very well in the story of Prophet Yusuf. So in chapter 12, verse 100, near the end of the story of Prophet Yusuf's life, he explains, you know, he went through a lot of difficulties. His brothers teamed up against him, almost tried to kill him, threw him in a well. He was sold into slavery. He was put in jail. I mean, he lived a very difficult life, went through a lot of trials and tribulations. He was falsely accused, right? So many things. So near the end, in verse 100, where the end of the story is coming, and he's explaining all of this, he puts his parents up on the throne, and he says, وَقَالَ يَا أَبَتِ هَذَا تَأْوِيلُ رُؤْيَاي. He says, "Oh, my father," he's telling his father, he said, "This is the dream that I had long time ago. قَدْ جَعَلَهَا رَبِّي حَقًّا. My Lord has made that dream true." Prophet Yusuf had a dream long time ago when he was young, when he was still a young man. or almost a little bit more than a child, that all of this would happen, right? He would be given glory and honor and respect and all that. And then Yusuf starts to reflect upon his life. And he says, you know what? When I was released from prison, Allah was the one who helped me get out of prison, right? And then he helped me, you know, after all of that, and he removed the animosity between me and my brothers. After all the things that they had done, we even were able to reconcile in our family. And then he says at the end, Inna Rabbi latiful lima yasha. Says, indeed, my Lord is gentle and kind to whom he wills. Innahu huwa al-Alim al-Hakim. Indeed, he is the knowing and the wise. So this meaning of Latif, it's not used with the al here, but it's still an attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In this context, it's not so much about being subtle, but it's about kindness or gentleness, right? So there's two different contexts of Al-Latif. The next word, the next name is Al-Khabir. Al-Khabir, as we mentioned, Al-Khabir means the all-aware. Someone who has perfect knowledge and understanding of the real condition of things, the internal qualities of that thing, all the meanings of everything that exists in the world. Allah has knowledge of all of that. So no one else has that. So when it says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Khabir, He's the aware, He is the all-knowing of every single little detail that people do not even know of. And when we remember that, when we keep that in mind, it makes us understand that, first of all, other people are not Al-Khabir. Other people are not aware. Idols, other human beings that people worship, they're not aware of these things. And as Muslims, we look upon Al-Khabir, we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is aware of everything. That gives us a sense of comfort and solace. You say, you know what? This injustice is going to, go unpunished. Look at all these bad people doing these bad things. Look at someone is slandering me and trying to ruin my reputation. It's okay. It's not unnoticed. Allah is Al-Khabir. He knows those things. He is aware of those things. So we don't need to end up in any type of despair or distress. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of that. The next is Al-Halim. Al-Halim means that Allah is the most forbearing, in a sense of like being patient, basically. Which means that Allah is the one who keeps on giving blessings to people, right? The ones that people can see and the ones that are hidden, right, to His creation. He keeps on giving them blessings even if they disobey Him. Even if they make many mistakes, Allah is patient with them and say, no, I'm going to punish you later on. Even if you deserve it now. SubhanAllah, may Allah protect us. Even though sometimes we may deserve something now because of what we've done, Allah is forbearing, He's patient. So if He forgives, He will forgive people, but He does not give the sinners the punishment that they deserve. He encourages them. Why not? Like this life is a test. So He's encouraging them to repent. He's encouraging them to ask Allah for forgiveness, and He gives them some time so that they can return back. It's like clemency. It's like, I'm going to give you a little bit extra time. You did something really bad, but you know what? I'm going to give you one more day in your life. Right? Sometimes people, they commit some sins at nighttime. When they go to sleep, they're hoping, probably you should ask Allah for forgiveness immediately. But when they go to sleep, they're hoping, they say, I hope, Allah gives me one more day. When I wake up, I hope I have one more day to make up for what I've done. I will pray. I'll wake up for Fajr on time. I'll wake up for Tahajjud. I will be a different person the next day. So that time, even though Allah could take that person's life at that moment, especially for the things that they've done, gives them some extra time. Allah mentions this in Surah Al-Baqarah in the 2nd chapter in 263. This قَوْلٌ مَعْرُوفٌ وَمَغْفِرَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِّن صَدَقَةٍ يَتْبَعُهَا أَذًى. Is that a kind word? Let me give you the context here. There are people, when they give sadaqah, when they give charity to someone, they have like a mean gesture. Let's say someone is asking for money on the street or something like that, and let's assume they're in genuine need. And then you come, you give them some money, you're like, okay, fine, here, take this, and you leave. Right? That is sadaqah followed by like some bad words, right? Like a gesture, a bad gesture. So Allah is saying that a nice word and a maghfirah and like, forgiveness, or even saying like, what, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I can't help you right now with any money. And that is better than giving sadaqah. And then after it, you're like, here, take it. You people always bothering me. That kind of thing. Allah is saying, no, that is not befitting. Don't do sadaqah, don't give charity, and then do it in a bad manner. And it says, Wallahu ghaniyun halim. Allah is ghani, Allah is independent. Allah is, literally wealthy. Wealthy meaning He's not in need. That's what it means when it's referring to Allah. Allah is not in need. Halim, He is Halim. He's forbearing, He's patient. And He's not going to hold you accountable right now for people who do this, right? So even though people should not be doing this, people who do this, Allah is going to give them a chance to reform. It's going to give them a chance to change themselves. The last attribute is Al-Azim. Al-Azim means the magnificent, right? The great, the extraordinary. It's the one, Allah is the one who is the greatest, the mightiest, the grandest. And above all, He has absolute greatness in everything, in His essence, as well as in all of His attributes. All His actions, everything that Allah does is perfect. So He is the one that deserves the attributes of glory, purity from all imperfection. Right? Not everything is perfect about Allah. That's what makes Him Al-Azim, the magnificent. Right? And even though the extent to which His might, to which His grandeur, to which His bounties and His glory, it's actually beyond our grasp, but we can just understand a small aspect of it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Azim, and nobody else can even come close to that title. So these are the names for today. Just to recap, we have Al-Latif, which is the subtle one, or the most gentle, the most kind. Al-Khabir, the all-aware. Al-Halim, the forbearing or the patient. And Al-Azim, the magnificent one. We ask Allah to help us to have the best Ramadan and to understand these names and help them to apply them and remember them in our lives when we're going through some challenge where we need to recall the attributes of Allah. Ameen. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nastaghfirukallah wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.